beautiful 82-degree day in Cleveland. A look from above the Quicken Loans Arena as we close in on game time. The Fan Fest continues outside on the plaza. Tonight here at the Q, it is game one of the best of 7 Eastern Conference Final Series with the Orlando Magic facing the Cleveland Cavaliers as TNT's exclusive playoff coverage continues. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Doug Collins. We'll be joined in a moment by Craig Sager. It has been a long time between games for the Cavaliers, but they're ready to go, and so are we. Let's check out the McDonald's starting lineups for the Magic. Up front, Dwight Howard, who finished strong in this series against Boston. Hedo Turkoglu had a sparkling Game 7 against the Celtics. The rookie Courtney Lee makes his return as a starter for the Cavaliers. The MVP LeBron James averaging 33 a game in the postseason. He's on the front line with Anderson Varejao and Zydrunas Ilgauskas, backcourt of Delonte West and Mo Williams. All right, Doug, what do you see as the keys to tonight's matchup?
Well, Marv, you know, I'm always a big first quarter guy. And the start of this game, the big Game 7 win in Boston, the Magic, they're coming in here very confident. 8 full days of rest for Cleveland. How sharp are they going to be to start this game tonight? And then the transition game for Cleveland, it's get back and defend that three-point line. And for Orlando, it's get back and defend the paint and keep LeBron James out of that transition game for Cleveland. The defense never rests. Cleveland is known for their defense. People don't realize Orlando, with all these threes they shoot, play very, very good defense and have done a great job closing down the paint against the Cavs in the regular season. And then the imprint. Is it going to be the Defensive Player of the Year, Dwight Howard, his rebounding, his shot blocking, or is it going to be the MVP of the league, LeBron James, who, as good as he was in the regular season, has been even better in the playoffs? That's very scary.
And LeBron getting ready for that traditional choreographed routine. The Cleveland Cavaliers with decisive 4-game sweeps over Detroit and Atlanta. The Orlando Magic coming off that tough 7-game series with the Celtics, preceded by the 6-game victory over the Philadelphia 76ers.
You know, Marv, a lot of people wonder, like, why would Stan Van Gundy change his starting lineup? You've just beaten Boston, Game 7 on the road. J.J. Redick has started those games for you. Why is Courtney Lee starting? Well, because it's a game of matchups. And when you look at Cleveland and their backcourt, they basically play 2 point guards. And Delonte West and Mo Williams, Stan Van Gundy felt that was a bad matchup for J.J. Redick. And I expect to see Courtney Lee play a lot against LeBron James, maybe even to start the game, to try to keep Hedo Turkoglu out of foul trouble.
And the officials, Bennett Salvatore, Rod Garrison, and Ken Maurer. You saw the Cavaliers' record at home, the very best in the league, 39-2 during the regular season, including playoffs, 43-2. Orlando's been a very good road team, and that carries over the last 2 seasons, 27-14 in the regular season this year, and they have won 3 road games in the playoffs. Cleveland in control as we get underway. Turkoglu is on James here at the start. Varejao.
Well, if Dwight Howard is going to roam around and guard LeBron James, he is a brilliant passer. What a great pass there to start the game off and get Anderson Varejao an easy basket.
And as the guys mentioned on the pregame, LeBron James opening up against Rafer Alston. Here is Rashard Lewis. Mo Williams played by Alston. They double up on James. Nice pass again. Varejao is fouled, so he'll head to the line.
Now, when you play with LeBron James, you've got to find the open areas. LeBron has seen every defense there is, Marv. It's not like the Orlando's going to come out and shock him with something he hasn't seen. And they basically run a zone offense. Whenever LeBron catches that ball on the wing, you're going to see Varejao cutting, and you've seen it twice already here where he's been the recipient of a layup and now 2 free throws. And then Zydrunas Ilgauskas will look for that open area as well. So LeBron loves to pass.
Anderson Varejao a year ago was having a rough time. Had come back from a holdout setback by injuries. Not a major factor in the rotation, but due to injuries this season. He's worked his way into the starting lineup and has had an excellent year.
And Marv, you pointed out LeBron James is on Ray for Alston, and what he's going to do, he's going to roam defensively. Look for him to be the help guy on any penetration.
Courtney Lee not able to hit, but Dwight Howard is right there.
He just pulled down the shot clock. Just what we need here is a delay. Cleveland hasn't played in 8 full days. The last thing they want is a delay here with Dwight Howard pulling down the basket and the shot clock collapsing from behind.
Dwight Howard with a powerful dunk for the first 2 points for the Magic. Here's another look.
Well, this is what concerns Mike Brown, is the offensive rebounding of Dwight Howard. You're going to see the shot clock collapse down there, so we'll see how long it takes for them to repair this. They said anytime Orlando penetrates and you have to come over and help, this is his concern. He averages almost 5 offensive rebounds a game, and really that's where he gets most of his points, Marvin. Gets to the foul line, is getting to that glass.
Dwight Howard, who came back strong following that subpar game 5 in Boston, and then criticized head coach Stan Van Gundy for his lack of touches. Game 6, 23 points, 22 rebounds. Strong game 7, 16 rebounds, 5 blocked shots. The defensive player of the year, and has caused this delay as they make the repairs to the 24-second clock. So while they work things out at the basket to our right, we'll take a break. Back in a moment.
Howard's powerful dunk that brought down the shot clock. The officials then met with Pat Fitzgerald, who runs the arena here, the Quicken Loans Arena. They talked things over. They do not want to delay the game any further, so they're going to bring out small shot clocks that they say they're going to put on the corners of the court, which they will use for the first half. Then at halftime, they will take the time to repair the big shot clocks and put them back there. But they're trying, the officials are, not to have a major delay and trying not to do it at this point. They just want to make it safe at both baskets, and they're trying to get some smaller shot clocks to come into the corners. Back to you, Marv.
All right, thank you, Craig. I do recall a similar scenario involving Shaquille O'Neal several years back in a game in Phoenix where he broke the backboard, which led to a very long delay.
Well, now this will be interesting because when I played, that's where the shot clocks were, in the corners. And Marv, you get conditioned to where to look for that shot clock. These players are all looking above the basket. Now it's going to be very important for them to communicate with one another as that shot clock starts to wind down, because your eyes are going to want to go to the top of the basket, and it's going to be over in the corner. So this will be a little bit of an adjustment for the players.
Well, the Orlando Magic, a team that went 59-23 in the regular season. They beat the 76ers in 6 in the opening round. They had trailed in that series 2-1, and then defeated the Celtics 4-3, concluding matters the other night in Boston, and 59 wins, 59-23, the second best record in franchise history. The 95-96 Magic went 60-22. That was a team led by Shaq and Penny Hardaway. The Cavaliers with a magnificent season, 66-16, best record in the NBA. 66 wins, a franchise record. They won 13 of the last 14 games, and then convincing sweeps over the Pistons 4-0, over the Hawks 4-0. Doug winning all 8 games by double digits. And the Cavs, the last game played was May the 11th at Atlanta. That was 9 days ago, but as you mentioned, it's 8 full days since they have played. So now if they play well and they win here tonight, it'll be said, well, the rest really helped. And if they lose or don't play well, it'll be said, well, they're rusty. Too long a layoff.
Well, that's the way it always works. You know, Marv, the thing about Cleveland that I've noticed, and I've been around this team a lot this year just doing games, they have such great team chemistry. They really like being around each other. They hold each other accountable. That all starts with the relationship that LeBron James has with Mike Brown, and the energy and passion and the love of the game that LeBron plays with. It filters down to the rest of this team. No place would he rather be than in the gym playing basketball, and his team, I think, reflects that.
It's almost like a fraternity.
It is, no question, and these guys really enjoyed being around one another.
Let's get back to Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Marv, Doug was talking about the fact that the shot clocks are now in the corner and an adjustment the players will have to make. I talked to Ray Peralson, the point guard for Orlando. He says, hey, this is like the summer league in New York. I'm there every summer. Every summer I play in the playgrounds in New York. Every summer, that's where the old shot clock is. I talked to LeBron James. He goes, just like the AAU days. Instead of having the shot clock there, we also had the shot clock and the score there. So we always looked over in the corner. So it's been a while, but they are used to having the shot clocks in the corner. And as I mentioned, they will repair the shot clocks above the basket at halftime after Superman brought the house down a few moments ago for Orlando. Mark?
All right, Craig and Doug, the last time that the Magic and the Cavaliers met, it was not a good situation for the Cavaliers. In fact, their worst loss of the season. At one point, they were down by as many as 41. They lost by 29, 116 to 87. One of the worst losses in LeBron James's career. Rashard Lewis scored 22 points. Dwight Howard, 20 and 11. Magic limiting the Cavs to 37% shooting. LeBron did have 26. And in the regular season, for what it's worth, because so frequently regular season has no bearing at all on what occurs in the playoffs. But the Magic did take 2 out of 3. The decisive wins in Orlando. And you see the numbers over the course of those 3 games.
Well, the concerns are plus 10 points in the paint. They're plus 9 fast break, and Mark plus 11 at the three-point line. So that's why Mike Brown, all he has talked about is getting his team back defensively. Now, this is not a big change for Cleveland. Cleveland was the best at defending the 3 all year long. So it's not like this big character change. We've got all of a sudden now go from defending the paint to defending the three-point line. The big thing you have in a game like this is you have what you call cross matches, Mark, where the guy you're guarding is not guarding you. So anytime that ball is live, you have to really be talking and communicating to make sure somebody picks up your guy. That's where teams get those open threes, especially this Orlando Magic squad.
And Orlando's won 8 of the last 11 meetings against Cleveland. You see Dwight Howard going around telling fans, it's my fault. I'm sorry.
Well, just to put it in perspective here with Dwight Howard, that dunk tonight was his 40th dunk of the playoffs. He has 87 field goals. So 45% of his field goals in the playoffs have come off dunks. That's why the importance of taking away his dunks and layups and make him be a shot maker rather than a guy who just overpowers you and dunks the ball.
And play has resumed with the shot clocks along the baseline. Let's check back in with Craig.
Well, Mark, to make that transition quicker at halftime, they're going to put an entire stanchion, a new backboard, everything up at halftime. The one that's down there right now where Orlando is shooting will be wheeled off, and they'll bring the other one on. Rather than trying to fix this one that they have right now, they're bringing an entire new one, and they're working on it right now.
That was deflected out by Orlando. There you see the baseline shot clock. And it is tough to find, as you mentioned, Doug, in the earlier days of the NBA, earlier days of the shot clock. Players weren't accustomed to it. Varejao again, quick start for Varejao. In fact, he's the only Cavalier to attempt a shot here in the opening minutes. Alston's pass deflected. Lewis is on it. Turkoglu being played here by West. Alston for 3. Back tap but handled by Varejao. Mo Williams, who has not put up the same kind of numbers that he put up during the regular season, an all-star campaign for Williams. They try to double LeBron. West is open for 3. Yes.
Well, he's played very, very well. I thought that when you looked at the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, LeBron James and Delonte West have been the 2 best offensive players on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you can see LeBron James. LeBron James had a wide-open 15-footer. He is really making a conscious effort to get his teammates involved. He passed it up. Delonte West spots up. It's been he and Anderson Varejao getting them off to a great start here tonight.
Back in Cleveland, a 9-2 start here for the Cavaliers. And right here, time for Gatorade Around the Cooler. Let's check in once again with Craig Sager.
Well, Marv, our delay, of course, was caused by the strength of Dwight Howard bringing down the shot clock. His feats at the practice facility in Orlando are pretty notorious at that practice facility, they also have shot clocks, but they are double bolted down, making them extra strong, so things like that don't happen. But also in the weight room, he has been known to bench press over 360 pounds. Then he takes 225 pounds and routinely does reps of 25. 25 at 225, which just happens to be the max that you'll see at the NFL Combine. So he definitely is super strong.
There's the alley-oop for Howard, thrown by Turkoglu. Craig Sager, Doug, it should be pointed out, just set a record for sideline reporters. Most appearances within a first quarter. Congratulations to Craig. Varejao again off a pass from James Ilgauskas with the layup.
See, when you have so much attention played to LeBron James, it's going to open up areas. And Cleveland is very active cutting. That time Z gets the offensive rebound and the putback.
Lewis trying to back his way, flips it back to Turkoglu. Has it slapped away. Ilgauskas on the floor, came up with the steal. James met by Alston. Whoa, threw a bullet that nearly hit Varejao in the head. Incidentally, the official time of the delay, 8 minutes, 27 seconds. Here's West for three. Hit one from the left side of the circle and now the right.
Well, he's playing at a tremendous level right now. So confident offensively.
Ball deflected out. LeBron nearly landing in your lap.
Well, see what happens is when you have Alston on LeBron, you've got a mismatch. So now all of a sudden the floor gets tilted defensively. And what Cleveland does, they do a great job of screening and switching that ball. Here's another knockaway.
Good hands by the Cavs. West for three. Chased down by Varejao. So the Cavaliers have come out with a burst following that long layoff. Ilgauskas rebounded by Turkoglu. This the way the Magic came out against the Celtics, Game 7 in Boston. Turkoglu, way off, rebound James. LeBron just looking to set people up. LeBron on the drive.
That's LeBron though in the open court more. That's what I talked about, the Magic transition defense. If they let him get that deep at the rim all night, they're going to be in serious trouble.
That was his first shot attempt. A double Turkoglu. Lee for three. And deflected out, last touch by Turkoglu.
Or they're just so active right now, Cleveland. They are locked in, getting to three-point shooters. They right now have a tremendous focus defensively.
Cavaliers have a 14-4 lead. Turkoglu trying to face guard James. LeBron comes up short and one-handed by Howard. There's Howard spinning his way. Nice move. Went to the left hand.
See what he's done. He has a nice little counter move. When he comes to the lane that way and you get on that shoulder, he'll spin back, and he's developed that nice little left-hand hook shot. And Mark, when he becomes a shot maker, you won't be able to guard him because he is so powerful.
Mo Williams gets the roll. Dwight Howard did have difficulties with that hook against the Celtics because Kendrick Perkins played him so well. Played him, I thought, to a standstill at times because he's such a powerful guy. And then Howard came out strong in games 6 and 7. Here's Alston. He was looking for a contact call on Varejao. Williams on the spin. Will that count? Yes, it counts. And the foul. It's a goaltend. Mo Williams ready to argue, and Ken Mauer said, no, I said it's a goaltend.
Well, this is the Mo Williams that Mike Brown and these Cleveland fans wanted to see. Did not play great basketball in the first 2 rounds. He was brilliant in the regular season. And he's the #2 scorer on this team behind LeBron James, giving him a legitimate second score at almost 18 a game in the regular season. But Marv, he has not been as sharp offensively the first 2 playoff series. Tonight off to a nice start. He had a little floater in the lane, now to 3-point play.
He says not not a problem, and Mike Brown said the same, but he is playing through that injured left shoulder, which may have had an effect in the postseason. Here's Lewis, played well by Varejao. Ilgauskas with the rebound. James going right at Howard, keeping it alive, and now handled by Lewis.
That's what Dwight Howard brings to this Magic team. He's one guy that can really defend at the rim against the LeBron James because he has the strength to take that hit.
Oh, what a move by Dwight Howard.
You see, Z does not have the foot speed. And you talked about it, Mark. One of the things Kendrick Perkins did, he got his body on him, and he bodied up against him. What you're seeing Z do is he's giving him space. And so the quickness now really works in Howard's favor.
Here's Williams for the teardrop. Alston pushing it. 3-on-2 for the Magic. Alston is open for three. Yes. Great for Alston, who had a strong game 7. Up in Boston, 15 points, 3 threes, 4 assists. And that shot leads to a Cavalier timeout.
Well, Dwight Howard, look at the space he's got. He just faces up that little quick jab step. He goes to that left hand again, and this is where the concerns of Mike Brown are. Those open threes in transition. Orlando is a tough mental team.
The biggest thing that we try to do with Cleveland is try to keep LeBron out of the paint. And, you know, once you do that, you don't allow him to be able to get to the basket and dunk the ball or find other guys for wide open shots. And I think we all make a great effort of making sure we, you know, close the paint off. You know, but playing against a great player like LeBron, you know, you don't want him to get going.
Well, I think what you've seen here early in the game is they've done a pretty good job when LeBron has tried to drive only a couple times. Where the Cleveland Cavaliers have really hurt Orlando, Marv, is when he's caught the ball on the perimeter in that little area 15 to 18 feet away from the basket. When they start scrambling defensively, Cleveland does a great job cutting. They have 12 points in the paint here of the 19 early in this game.
And now Mikal Petras has come on for Orlando, and he opens up defending on LeBron through that beautiful skip pass to Ilgauskas. And LeBron has opened up as a playmaker. That's his 4th assist. Petras, who have a hot-handed game 7 against the Celtics, knocks down a 3.
That three-point shot is the great equalizer. You get hot 3 or 4 times down, and you can get into a lead very quickly. Back-to-back threes by the Orlando Magic.
Petras 6 of 7 the other night, 3 of 3 from the three-point line. Ilgauskas came up short. Howard with the rebound. It's a 21-14 Cavalier lead as we come up on 4 minutes to play in the first. Howard rejected by Varejao. The save for Ilgauskas. Here comes West going right at Lee. Oh, from behind. Howard with the rejection.
And almost a replay when you see the mask of Courtney Lee. Remember, Dwight Howard came down on him and crushed his sinus. He was out with surgery. Watch here. It almost happens again. This time he gets him in the back of the head. Courtney Lee goes, "That's my own teammate." But that's what Dwight Howard will do. He will track you down on the break with that speed and quickness. LeBron does the same thing. Blocks a lot of shots from behind in the open court.
Courtney Lee finally getting back into the starting lineup. James rejected. That will count. It's a goaltend on Howard. And for LeBron, his first field goal. Let's check in with Craig.
Well, Mark, just prior to that last time out, a piece of a bolt was found underneath one of the baskets. So Bennett Salvatore, the crew chief, stopped the game, went over and talked to the officials from the arena. They went up and made sure that all the cameras were locked down tight so nothing would happen, nothing would come down later. But they did find a piece of bolt on the court.
For those who may have just joined us, we had an 8.5-minute delay at the start of the game. A tip by Ilgauskas, because following a dunk by Howard, the 24-second clock on the top of the backboard came falling down to the floor. And the 24-second clocks have been placed on the baseline as Howard is fouled. It's on Varejao, that's his first.
Well, the concerns of Stan Van Gundy right now defensively have to be the fact that Cleveland's guards, LeBron, Delonte West, Mo Williams, are getting in the paint. And if they don't score, even getting that ball up at the rim, the second chance opportunity, that's 8 second chance points now here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Zydrunas Ilgauskas is a guy, he's such a rhythm player. Normally he has to work himself into a series. He struggled in that Atlanta series, 5 of 15 in the first 2 games. 12 of 22 the last 2. He got his shooting, but here he's getting out layups. He's got 3 layups in this game, tip in, so he's getting into a nice rhythm just by being active.
Anthony Johnson has come on for the Magic. Wally Serbiak for Mo Williams. Petras got the step on Serbiak. Ilgauskas with the rebound. So West and Serbiak in the backcourt. James, Ilgauskas, and Varejao are up front. Here's James for 3. Yes.
That's the scary part. LeBron James has got all his teammates involved with his passing. He has come out and moved the ball. He has 4 assists here early, and you know he's going to get his points. I mean, this is one of those guys that can throw up a triple-double at any time. Here's LeBron James with a backcourt foul.
LeBron is actually upset with himself. He did not want to make that kind of contact. And he picks up his first. It's a 7-0 run for the Cavaliers. Now Tony Battie has come on. Dwight Howard will get a... no, Howard is still on the floor up front with the 2. They go with the Twin Towers, and Howard with the running hook.
I think Zydrunas Ilgauskas was looking for his help that time. Nobody got down there quick enough. If you're going to put the ball, make him come to the middle, then somebody's got to dig down when he's on that dribble and disrupt his timing.
28-16, Cleveland. West off balance, snatched by Howard. Here's Lewis. Foul is on Serbiak, a blocking foul. 13 foul on the Cavs.
See, that's where Rashard Lewis can do his damage against Cleveland, because you're asking Anderson Varejao to play him, and his instincts are go to the offensive board, so he gets caught underneath the basket. Rashard Lewis runs out. Wally Serbiak is slow getting there. I don't think the people here in Cleveland like the call, but you see the Game 7 that he had against the Celtics. But, you know, Mark, when he was great was in the suspension of Dwight Howard in Game 6 against Philadelphia. They put him in the post. And they don't post him much with Dwight Howard, but in that game, they put him in the post, and he was terrific down there.
Well, you can vote for which player you want to watch. Get enhanced coverage of the Eastern Conference Finals on TNT. Overtime Extra, presented by Axe, only on NBA.com. Just under 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. A 28-17 lead for the Cavaliers. West able to keep the dribble alive. West with the lead pass for Joe Smith, who just checked in. Comes to Serbiak. His 3 off the mark. There's Lewis. Rejected by Smith. Kept alive by West. 3-on-1 develops. James with the stop. Standing ovation for LeBron James, who has put his team in front 30-17.
Well, great block by Joe Smith. That's defense creating offense. Getting out of the open court. What a great play by Joe Smith.
Howard triple team, rejected by James. Howard questions why no foul. James for 3. Yes! What a display being put on here by LeBron James. At first looking to set teammates up, and he has come on. He's hit his last 4 shots, including 2 from downtown, and that sensational stuff. So James with 10 points, 4 assists, and the Cavs have opened up a 33-17 lead.
Well, the defense is the calling card for this Cleveland Cavalier team. They have great defensive rotation, good shot blocking. This is what happens when LeBron James gets the open court, gets into the paint. And then LeBron, remember, he's helping off the weak side. He comes over and gets a shot block. And then he's going to get up. Nobody talking here defensively. He walks right into the 3. So, Mark, we talked about how he started out the game looking to pass, how quickly he gets to 10 points, already 4 assists. Don't underestimate the motor, the passion, and the energy that this guy brings and how his team feeds off it every single night.
The NBA's MVP, all NBA first team. He missed his first 3 shots over the opening 8 minutes. The last 3 minutes, he is 4 for 4, including the 2 from downtown. 45 seconds left in the first. Petrus had it slapped away. Another Cavalier deflection. James for 3. Way off. And handled by Turkoglu. Petrus able to get down court. James tried to get him from behind. LeBron loves that chase down.
Yes, he does.
Able to catch people from behind.
And Mikal Petrus sort of had the rear view mirror working there. He knew that LeBron was coming, and he went strong to the rim. Had he laid this ball up, LeBron would have blocked it. But this is a smart play from Mikal Petrus here. He rose up and sits as LeBron is behind him. Doesn't try to do anything fancy, just finishes it and gets the easy 2.
Mike Brown now goes with Ben Wallace, Joe Smith, and LeBron James up front. Wallace makes his first appearance. West rebounded by Johnson. Final seconds of the first. Petrus for 3. Strong start for the Cavaliers. They shoot 13 for 28. They out-rebound the Magic 15 to 12. LeBron James, 10 points, all coming the last 4 minutes. When we come back, Craig with Magic head coach Stan Van Gundy. Craig Sager talked with Orlando head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Well, Coach, you're concerned with the quality of shots your team was getting. You're shooting 35% in the first quarter. What type of shots are you getting?
Well, that isn't the problem. The problem's at the other end. They got 33 points. All right, 12 of their first 19 were in the paint. We're playing no defense, and we're a little bit back on our heels at both ends. I didn't like the way we played at all. They really jumped us. We did not hold our poise. We did not defend, and we got to turn it around here quickly.
LeBron started to take over the last part of that first quarter. At 4 of his last 5. What do you do against him?
Well, I don't know, but again, we're giving him too many layups. It's not him. It's not one guy. It's nothing one specific thing. We're just not playing right now.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Mark.
All right, Craig, and 33 points for the Cavaliers equals their playoff high for any quarter. Ben Wallace called on the foul.
And Mark, what this great start does for Cleveland, it allows their bench now to come in and play. The bench has not been very potent here in the playoffs. I think Mike Brown would like to see this kind of activity here.
Off the steal, West gonna take it home. So the Cavs go to the trap. And for Orlando, it's turnover number 4. Howard getting deep inside. Went right at Wallace. 35-21 Cavaliers as the second quarter gets underway. Marv Albert with Doug Collins and Craig Sager. It's game 1 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference final series. Game 2 here on Friday night. Here's Smith. Joe Smith back with the Cavaliers. He was signed after Smith asked for and was granted his release by Oklahoma City. The Cavs originally had sent Smith to the Thunder as part of that 3-way deal that brought Mo Williams to Cleveland. Here's Petit with his first shot. Wallace rebounds. Williams. And by Petit.
Well, this guy right here, Hedo Turkoglu's got to get going. He has thrown up no field goal made here early. Neither has Rashard Lewis. So those 2 guys, key guys, 0 of 5 to get started. The only guy really playing offensively right now is Dwight Howard. He's 6 of 8 with 12 points. The rest of the team is really struggling. And Tony Petit is a guy that, well, they really missed him last year. He had that injury and was out, and he gives them another big guy off the bench, gives them a versatile player, can play a couple positions, very smart, and they need him to play well.
So Petit with the bucket, and he was fouled by Smith. Starting the tee in his 5th year with the Magic. Had that torn rotator cuff, as you mentioned, last season in the left shoulder. One-time member of the Boston Celtics, so limited action in the series against Boston. 2 minutes gone by in the second. Shot clock to 5. Williams, yes. Mo Williams off to the good start. He has 7 points.
So when you watch Cleveland, one of the things that really stands out, Marv, is they're a much better offensive team they were 2 years ago when they went to the NBA Finals. Guys can get their shots off the dribble, play pick and roll.
Once again, we see that jump hook by Dwight Howard.
But it's almost what Cleveland is doing it without coming out and saying it is. We're going to give you 2 points in the paint to take away that 3-point shooting and make Dwight Howard throw up a huge game and try to shut out Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis, and that's what they've done here early in this game.
Cavaliers averaged 100 points a game during the regular season, but what is most impressive, they shot 47%, which was among the leaders in the NBA. Howard is 7 of 9 from the field, 14 points. Going right at Smith, picks up the offensive foul. He was unhappy, thought that Smith was hand-checking him, and that Howard with the aggressive move, and he's called for the foul.
Well, Joe Smith a couple times, they've been locked up on rebounds, and Joe Smith has tried to do a great job of just face guarding him. That time, Dwight Howard, I think you got there right, that Marv, that he just got frustrated there and just lowered his shoulder and got the offensive foul.
Howard picks up his first personal. Here's Smith eluding the tee. Joe Smith showing the touch.
Well, that guy can make shots. That's one of the reasons why they picked him up. He was a great guy in the locker room, but he fits beautifully with his team because it's that 4 spot. He can step out and shoot the ball with all those double teams and pick and rolls that LeBron James likes to run with him.
Foul is on Smith for the block on Turkoglu. So the Cavs doing a nice job, although LeBron James sitting it out here at the start of the second quarter. Cavaliers up by 15. We'll be back to Cleveland, Ohio, right after this.
The 2009 Eastern Conference Finals on TNT. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. And by Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Listen, we're 1 quarter into this series. Just play. You're not going to get 14 points back in the next 5 minutes. You're going to get it possession by possession. Just play the next possession. But our effort has got to pick up a lot here. We got to run back.
But you see Stan Van Gundy talking to his team about the energy. Mark, where you see it is Orlando's forced no turnovers. I mean, Cleveland is shooting 50% from the floor. They're moving the ball. They're getting points in the paint. And all the things we talked about, a great start for Cleveland. They've gotten off to that. They're defending the 3. LeBron has his imprint on this game early. So right now, all the things we talked about early are tilted well in favor of Cleveland. That's why they lead by 15.
It's Howard off the double team and nearly took the backboard down.
Well, you can just see he gets in that paint. He's so strong, and if he gets himself underneath that rim, you're not going to be able to defend him.
Howard 8 for 10. He has 16 points. Williams trying to find the pick. Here's Williams. Rebounded by Howard. Anthony Johnson now at the point. Johnson and Petrus at the guard. Johnson got the hop.
Anthony Johnson.
4 straight points following that timeout for the Magic. It's an 11-point Cavalier lead. Good job by Johnson. Nearly took the dribble away from West. Shot clock to 5. Once again, Johnson knocks it aside. West with the recovery and just fires one up. Knew the shot clock was running down, and it is a violation.
Now, that's a definition of a bad possession right there. That's called over-dribbling And this is when Cleveland gets themselves in trouble. If they start standing and over-dribbling, they get caught with a shot clock against them, and a bad possession that time that cost them a 24-second violation.
Only the first turnover by the Cavaliers. Good job defensively by Anthony Johnson. Here's Howard getting inside and called for steps. Offensive foul. It's an offensive foul on Howard. That's his second.
Well, you expect Dwight Howard to get fouled, but you expect him to be on the defensive end trying to defend the rim. And you can see, I guess they just said he lowered his shoulder, but that's 2 fouls on him, Mark, both of them offensive. He needs to be able to keep his fouls to where he can guard that rim, because all of a sudden you get LeBron in the game, these guys start attacking the basket. He's going to be very vulnerable to pick up that third.
LeBron James back. Anderson Varejao getting set to make his return. Serbiak. Wallace tipping it over to James. Try to slip it back. He did, and a foul. Smith will head to the line.
Well, LeBron has done a great job passing. We just saw it in the last possession, and Joe Smith is going to shoot free throws. Varejao moving, and you see the double team leaves Delonte West open for a three. You see LeBron sort of like a quarterback directing traffic. Another three by Delonte West, who got off to a great start. He has 8 points in the game, and LeBron got all of his teammates involved. And you look up, but he already has 10 points and 4 assists, still almost 7 minutes to go. So that's the scary part about LeBron, is he has the ability, Mark. We saw that quick surge where he had those 10 points. It seemed like in about a 2.5-minute period of time.
Foul was on Johnson. Smith just a 72% free throw shooter. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA playoffs continues tomorrow on ESPN. It's Game 2 of the Nuggets and the Lakers coverage beginning 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, with the Lakers coming from behind to win it last night at Staples. Friday, right here on TNT, we'll be back for Game 2 between the Magic and the Cavs starting 8 o'clock Eastern time. And then Saturday on ABC, Game 3, Lakers-Nuggets at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
If Orlando's going to work themselves back into this game offensively, they've got to get Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis going. These are 2 key guys. Marv, you did the Game 7 Boston when Turkoglu was sensational with his shooting and his passing, 12 assists in that ball game. Right now, the defensive matchups have sort of flustered Orlando a little bit. They're not in sync at all offensively, except when Dwight Howard's going to work in the paint. 14 fouls now on the Cavaliers. Rafer Alston just came on, able to feed it to Marcin Gortat, who replaced Dwight Howard. And Marcin Gortat out of Poland, rookie, actually a second season, hardly played last year. Second season in the NBA, but has played well in limited minutes during the postseason. Here's James, and the save by Gortat, and lost his balance, stepped out. Lamar, just to follow up with Gortat, early in the year, Dwight Howard on a West Coast road trip went out with an injury, missed 3 games, and Gortat stepped in and played exceptionally well, just as he did in Game 6 against Philadelphia when Dwight Howard was suspended. So don't go to sleep on Gortat. That guy can give them good minutes.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas has returned. Williams and Serbiak in the backcourt. James, Ilgauskas, and Varejao now up front for the Cavs. Here's Williams, off balance 3, and a foul is called as Varejao was pushed by Lewis. Rashard Lewis called for his second. Just under 6 remaining. First half, the Cavaliers up by 10. Take a look at the Action Cam presented by Transformers. Revenge of the Fallen in theaters June 24th.
Well, you love when your defense creates offense, and this is exactly what happened. Joe Smith with a great block on Rashard Lewis. And look out when this guy gets in the open court. That kind of power, and you feel the energy in this building when he takes off like that. I remember when I was coaching Michael Jordan, how many times he would make a play like that. The opposing team would take a timeout just to try to take the crowd out of the game. Because what it does is just to his teammates, how it lifts them.
And Stan Van Gundy did just that during that spree right at the end of the first quarter. There's LeBron James with his first bucket of the second quarter, but LeBron started slowly, looking for teammates, picked up 4 assists, and then came on, hit 4 straight shots, including 2 3-pointers. And that devastating dunk. Here's Lewis, and Rashard Lewis with his first field goal.
I would like to see him do more of that. I think sometimes he settles too much for the 3. I think he has the ability to put the ball on the floor. I'd love to see him get to the free throw line more often.
They clear it out as James works on Petrus and then finds Williams. Ilgauskas to the rim.
That was on our slow motion cam.
A good first half for Zydrunas Ilgauskas. 4 of 6, 8 points, 7 rebounds. Here's Turkoglu. And Turkoglu in the scoring column. That's his first bucket.
Well as Cleveland has played, they're only up 10 in this game. If you think if you're Orlando, if you could get this down to about 6 going into half with a surge that Cleveland hit you with to start this game, you would be in very good position.
Cavaliers have led by as many as 16. Once again, James working on Petrus. There's James. Makes the turn and scores. It's impossible to stop.
Well, he's so strong, he just rolls right off of you. I remember I used to play Earl Monroe. He used to love to feel your body so he could spin off of you. That's exactly what LeBron did that time. Petrus bodied up, and he just rolled right off him and got the easy basket.
Gortat not able to handle, deflected out last touch by the Cavaliers. I would think after playing Earl the Pro, you'd be flinching after the game.
Well, you almost tried to give Earl space because he wanted to feel where you were, and then he would play off of your body. And you could see LeBron here. He gets his body up against him, and now he just sort of steps through it. And if you're going to double team him, you've got to close that double team. And Gortat did a bad job that time of coming over and double teaming. You got to make LeBron pass that ball. Looks like Petrus just leveled Varejao on a pick.
There's Petrus. Oh, Varejau's hurt. And a foul is called. It's on Ilgauskas. Varejao took a hit in his throat.
Well, I could see this right here in front of us. You're going to see the screen right here.
Right as they check on Anderson, Varejao will take a break. Back to the queue in a moment. Take a look at the Magic Touch presented by Nikon Cool Picks S230. Well, the LA Clippers able to get the #1 pick of the lottery that took place last night as they vaulted over Washington and Sacramento to land the #1 pick in the draft lottery. Are we looking at Blake Griffin in a Clipper uniform?
Well, he's the best player, so I would assume that they would have to look long and hard at him. But you can think if that Clipper team could get healthy, they have talent on that team, Marv. They just had a disastrous year with injuries and all that went on, but they've got talent.
It's 19 wins for the Clippers this past season. For more on the lottery, let's go to Craig.
Well, Marv, during the past 2 series out west, I was covering the Lakers against both Utah and Houston, and both of those teams practiced at the LA Clippers practice facility. I saw them bring in numerous players, working them out for the draft. Last night, after they got the #1 pick, I called Joe Safety, their PR director, and he said they were preparing in case they did not get the #1 draft. But now that they have, they're bringing in nobody else. They're going to relax for the next 6 weeks until they officially make Blake Griffin the #1 pick on June 25th. That's who they had in mind all along, but they're doing very diligent work in case they did not get that #1 pick.
All right, the LA Clippers with that injury hit season and chemistry not the best with the group that they had. But Blake Griffin, a beautiful backdoor pass from Williams to James. And it's a 50-38 lead for the Cavaliers. But Blake Griffin could certainly help to change that chemistry in a Clipper uniform.
Marv, I love those kind of plays out of timeouts. When you're a coach and you can steal baskets out of timeouts.
Petrus Off the lead pass, cuts it back to 10.
Well, he has 7 points, and he was a big catalyst in that 11-0 run the other night in the fourth quarter of Game 7. He had 5 of those 11 points, and it was sensational. Had 17 points off the bench for the Orlando Magic.
There's James on the spin. Once again going right at Lucas. The basket counts and a foul.
See, Dwight Howard has 2 fouls. So we'll see what happens on this play, but if they're going to let LeBron James isolate one dribble away from the basket, that's one dribble. And that's Dwight Howard. So I talked about it before, Marv. He had 2 offensive fouls, and on that one, it's almost like he was trying to get out of the way. So 3 very ticky-tacky fouls on Dwight Howard. And LeBron James talking to Dwight Howard. Remember, those 2 guys were teammates on the Olympic team this summer, won gold medals together.
And that's 3 on Howard. Gortat will make his return, so Howard will sit down with the 18 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 6 rebounds, 12-point Cavalier lead. 3:03 to go, first half. In Cleveland, and it's a 12-point lead for the Cavaliers. We do have a family affair in terms of the coaching staff. It's Mike Malone, an assistant on Mike Brown's staff. And over on the other bench, a longtime NBA assistant and one-time head coach Brendan Malone on the staff of Stan Van Gundy.
That's a tough dynamic. I can't imagine my son Chris coaching one team and me on the other. I read an article today. They talked about how these 2 guys, how much they love each other, but there's not going to be a lot of dialogue between these 2 guys over the next 10, 12 days. Mike Malone does a nice job with the defensive side of the ball, and you got John Kuster does a lot of the stuff with the offense. So I think Mike Brown is very much like an NFL coach in a lot of ways. He's got 2 guys that really help him and gives him a lot of latitude, and you got to be very, very secure in your position to give your assistants that kind of authority in those huddles.
You don't see it as much in the NBA where guys delegate authority. Your son Chris, an assistant on Mike Krzyzewski's staff at Duke, but could you, as Turkoglu was able to knock it down, that's a 2-point. If you guys were coaching against each other, could you go a week and a half without talking at all?
It would be hard, but I know who his mother would be for. It wouldn't be me.
Yes. There's Williams wide open for 3. Long rebound handled by James, looking for a foul as Lee tried to knock it aside. Williams again from downtown. Good job by Lewis on a box out against Ilgauskas. There's Lewis, nowhere to go. Snapped it cross court, a bad pass, picked off by West.
Watch 2 minutes.
Here comes LeBron, and he drew the foul. Went at Gortat. So James to the line.
He's like a runaway freight train in the open court, and once he gets ahead of steam up, Mark, we talked about it. You talk about guys like Tony Parker in this league, guys who are so fast, Chris Paul. But I'm telling you, once LeBron gets to full speed, I don't know if there's anybody that has any more speed in the NBA. I mean, you put 260 pounds and that kind of power, when he gets around that lane area, he's either going to finish or get fouled.
It's 20 points in this first half for LeBron James. If you get taken, they take back. Timothy Hutton and his team are back in TNT's smash hit Leverage. Don't miss the new season premiere of Leverage this July only on TNT. Remember that, Doug. If you get taken, they take back. I'm just reading a card here. 12-point lead for the Cavs. Turkoglu, and he was blocked. So Hedo Turkoglu will go to the line. Foul committed by Mo Williams.
Hedo Turkoglu really plays so much as a point guard on this team, and you'd say, well, with Delonte West on him, why wouldn't you post him up? Well, because really he's not comfortable that much down in the post, and you can see what a barometer he is for this team. We talked about Game 7, how great he was against Boston, got him off to a great start, and then they had a great finish. They had 35 points in the fourth quarter of that game. Looked like Boston was going to make a little push. Rondo hit that jumper at the end of the quarter to make it 5 points. Everybody says, here goes the Magic again. But they are tough, and when the chips got against them in that fourth quarter. They played great basketball, probably their best quarter of basketball when they needed it the most to get to this conference finals.
They opened up with that 11-0 burst to put it away, and Turkoglu, major factor. James has scored 10 of the Cavaliers' last 12 points. Now guarded by Lewis, and shoots over him.
If he's going to make that, you can't guard him. I mean, the guy gets in the post. I mean, he's going to drive. You've got to give him some space. You want him to be a two-point jump shooter, but he's improved his shooting so much.
Lewis, yes. You know, when you look back to when LeBron first entered the NBA 6 years ago, and there were many questions about that outside shot. Questions that are not asked anymore.
Well, because he's here 3 hours and a half before the game with Chris Gent shooting in the dark. It doesn't happen by accident. You know, when he makes these kind of shots right here, you know, it's called a lot of work. Mark, you were just in Boston. You saw Ray Allen. We've seen Larry Bird through the years. These guys who shoot the ball, they do it because they work on it every single day.
There's Alston. But obviously, it's a combination of having the skill and working at it, because you can get a guy who can't shoot going to the gym right for 3 hours. It's not going to really not going to help.
Well, we know what he's doing now. His technique is so much better, and he practices the same shots all the time. I thought as a young player, his attention to detail wasn't great. Now his attention to detail is terrific.
Playing the clock down. James again. He has scored 16 points in the last 5.5 minutes, 26 in all. Gortat with 1 second remaining. Good job by Alston, who was under pressure but got the ball to Gortat. And here's Mo Williams firing one. And scored! Well, look at it. It appeared he got it off. From the back court, Mo Williams.
See, really, they were just trading 3 for 2 on that play. They gave the dunk to Gortat. How many times do you think he and LeBron, after practice, throw up these kind of shots? Having fun. You know who used to be so good at that? Tim Hardaway was so good at those kind of shots. A lot of guys won't even take that shot because if you miss it, it counts as a missed field goal. So look at LeBron, the smile, and that's a great high going in for Cleveland after giving up a dunk to Gortat.
So it is obviously a three-point play. The officials checking the videotape. It is a 63-48 lead for the Cavaliers. Let's go to Craig.
Assist, and you scored 16 in the last 18 points until Mo Williams hit that 3. How do you pick and choose when you score and when you pass?
You just see how the defense reacts, man. They started off double teaming him in the post, and Andy got a layup, Andy got a foul, Delonte got 2 threes, and then they started letting me play a little bit one-on-one. So that's what my opportunity is, to be a little bit more aggressive.
We saw you at practice yesterday. You're there an hour and a half before, an hour and a half afterwards. But then you do the LeBron trick shots with Mo Williams. You do shots like that. Did that surprise you? Made that
Mo missed some of the easy threes he's ever missed in his life, and then he make that one. Don't make sense, but we'll take it.
Well, the basket was ruled good, and that extends Cleveland's lead at intermission. And we come back, we'll have the T-Mobile halftime report from right here in Cleveland. AJ, Kenny, Charles, and Reggie Miller from Cleveland.
Back to Quicken Loans Arena, Cleveland, Ohio. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who just roared through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs against Detroit and Atlanta, have done the same here in the first half. They have a 15-point advantage on the Magic in this game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, and Craig Sager. Now look at these numbers on LeBron. He played 19 minutes in the first half. First 8 minutes, Doug, 0 for 3. Did have 4 assists. His last 11 minutes, 11 of 13, 26 points, doing it in every conceivable way, showing the entire repertoire. In the first half, it was a combination of LeBron and Mo Williams.
Well, these two guys have a great chemistry with one another, and they know where each other are all the time on the floor. But when you get LeBron out in the open court and you give him these kind of baskets, and that jump shot, that rim just sort of opens up for him. A lot of isolation here. They allow him to step through and score. You see that he and Mo Williams combined for 36 points. That was a beautiful play. They set up out of the timeout, little backdoor. John Kuster from North Carolina. That's a little North Carolina backdoor. And then here is Mo Williams throwing up the three. You heard LeBron say at halftime he missed 2 or 3 of the easiest threes he's had. And then throws in that long one. But you see the points. 8 in the paint, so 4 field goals in the paint. Gets 2 free throws, mid-range games, he gets 5 jumpers and then 2 threes. So he mixes it up, 26 points. More importantly, Marv, you know, I'm big on that points per shot. You keep a great player to 1 point per shot, you're doing a great job. 1.6, that goes sort of hand in hand with what he did in the first 2 series. He has just been unstoppable.
A look at the halftime stats. Orlando, although down by 15, shooting 51%, the same as the Cavaliers, but the Cavs have taken away the three-point shot. A prolific weapon during the regular season for Orlando. Look at the turnovers. 8 by the Magic, just 1 for Cleveland. Second chance points, points off turnovers, all Cavaliers in those departments. Let's check it with Craig.
Well, during that halftime intermission, then you imagine Pat Fitzgerald and his crew made sure that the basket was sturdy. They'd replace the bracket holding the shot clock, make sure the shot clock was functioning. Then they'd remove the side shot clocks from the court. One difference, Sports Illustrated will not have its still camera, nor will we have our Robo Fletcher camera. They did not have time to safely put these back, which means our producer and director, Scooter Grillo, have one less toy to play with in the second half. A side note, Dwight Howard ornery after picking up his 3rd foul. He told me a second ago he's going to try to bring down the shot clock at the other end of the court in this half. Marv?
I don't know, Dwight did a lot of damage and then went around the court apologizing to people, saying sorry, it was my fault. It was that powerful dunk that led to the collapse of the 24-second shot clock on top of the backboard, and we had an 8.5-minute delay. Kind of a disjointed first half.
Yeah, very much. No rhythm in that game, and foul trouble for Dwight Howard, and just never got in any kind of sync, the Orlando Magic. Let's see if they come out, more importantly, here in the second half defensively. They were very soft defensively in that first half.
Shot clock down to 5. Here's Lewis, and the tip by Howard. And Dwight has to be careful. He's playing with the 3 fouls. Howard with 18 points on 8. Make that 9 of 12 from the field. Now 20 points for Howard.
Well, you can see what Cleveland is doing. They're making Howard try to take contested 2. Nice little play here that West cannot finish. But they are committed to chasing Orlando off that 3-point line.
Turgler with Howard and Lewis up front. Alston and Lee in the backcourt. Courtney Lee, the rookie out of Western Kentucky, back in the starting lineup. Stan Van Gundy going with J.J. Redick, with Lee coming off the bench in the series against the Celtics after that sinus cavity fracture. And J.J. Redick, foul is called as Nurgauskas pulls Howard. J.J. Redick did not shoot well after that opening game against Boston. Had a good game 6 against Philadelphia, but did a nice job defensively against Ray Allen.
Yeah, I talked to JJ last night. He was talking about how, you know, his job was to just chase Ray Allen, and it really affected his offense. He was concentrating so much on his defense, and this is Dwight Howard once again going with that little hook that he's credited Stan Van Gundy with teaching him with. You know, you asked Stan today before the game if he's happy with a couple of those hook shots he took in Boston. You said those had no chance to go in.
But he was facing Kendrick Perkins, who was pushing him off the spot that he wanted to be on. And as a result, Dwight not able to have much success with the hook. But here, no pressure at all from Nurgauskas.
He just doesn't have the quickness. So Howard knows if he faces him up, he can get to where he wants to get on the floor. And Cleveland does not want to help on him too much and then free up the 3-point shooting.
Knocked out of bounds by West. 13 on the shot clock, minute and a half gone by in this third quarter, and Orlando now within 11. They've trailed by as many as 16.
Well, when you shoot the 3 the way Orlando does, I mean, that can go in a hurry. So Cleveland better not lose focus here defensively. And now also a little screen and roll, making LeBron James work on the defensive end. You heard our studio guys talk about Alston, Turkoglu, and Lewis, that they had to be much more aggressive here in this second half.
The Cavalier lead is down to 9. James over Turkoglu. Howard rejected. James getting in front of the blind side, and a technical foul has been called. A technical foul on Dwight Howard.
You see, that's why they want LeBron on Rafer Alston. They want him to roam and come off the weak side. Look where LeBron is. Comes off the weak side and blocks the shot. Remember now, he was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year behind Dwight Howard. You know, I talked about coaching Michael Jordan before. We used to use Michael a lot like this when he was in Chicago, coming off the weak side and blocking shots. The one year when Michael was the Defensive Player of the Year, he had over 100 block shots and over 200 steals, and so many of it came from his ability to help off the ball and bother big guys from behind when they don't see him coming.
And LeBron, like Michael, has the freedom to roam and will come up with block shots. Nice play by Lee on the steal, and he's able to beat James, who was going for the block. That was impressive by Courtney Lee. Quick hands on the stuff to get that one by James. It's a 10-point lead for the Cavaliers. James, yes, he is on fire. 30 points for LeBron. He's hit 13 of 18 from the field. Turkoglu for three. A loose ball foul called. It is on Varejao.
Well, Dwight Howard, what Cleveland is trying to do, Marv, when that shot goes up, they're almost trying to face guard him and take him away from the rebound. You used to do this with guys like Dennis Rodman, these guys, where you just say, look, I'm not going to get the rebound, but I'm not going to let him get it either. And that time he got caught with holding the jersey of Dwight Howard, who was so active and quick.
Correction on the last foul. It was Ilgauskas, not Varejao. Lee kept alive by Howard. They try to trap Turkoglu, got it down low. Howard with a nice move, and James stepped away, did not want to commit the foul.
Well, that time he felt LeBron in front of him. He just went over and powered that ball right through him. So Dwight Howard having a terrific offensive game at 24 points on only 15 shots.
11 of 15 for the field, 8 rebounds. Varejao from James. Anderson Varejao got off to the quick start thanks to LeBron James. Varejao cutting successfully. Another bucket for Varejao. Here's Alston, he's open. Alston for three.
Well, that's because LeBron James was underneath the basket, going to give help, not even guarding Rafer Alston in the corner. So if they're going to swing that ball, they're going to make LeBron James pay for roaming around there defensively.
Ilgauskas for three. He's been shooting the three this season with success. Orlando within 9. That pass intended for Howard. And a foul. It's on the Cavs.
Foul on the Cavaliers, number 13, Delonte West.
It is on Delonte West.
13 foul.
Now look at LeBron James now. He's guarding Rafer Alston. He cuts through the corner. Look where LeBron James is. He's almost at the restricted area, and so Alston is going to be wide open. And if he will knock down some of these shots, he will keep LeBron a lot more at home, and then you're going to see other guys get a chance to go to work offensively.
That's three team fouls on the Cavaliers. Howard trying to bank it this time on the jump hook. 70-61 Cleveland. They've led by as many as 16. They've had the double-digit lead most of the way. And James was hit by Turkoglu. Cavaliers at home during the regular season, 39-2, best home record in the NBA. The 2 losses to the Lakers, to Philadelphia. 1 point, they won 23 straight at home. They have gone 4-0 here at the Q in the postseason. The Boston Celtics of 85-86 went 40-1. That was the all-time record that the Cavaliers were chasing.
Well, look at 86-87, the year after that, wasn't it? The year after that? They go 39-2, so not a bad record to go 79-3 at home in 2 years. I would say that's taking care of the home court.
And a home court that has been selling out better than 20,000. On hand once again, they've sold out 42 of their 45 home games, including the postseason. And the city of Cleveland has not been able to celebrate a sports championship since the 1964 Cleveland Browns. Here in Cleveland, they're hoping the Cavaliers end the drought. It's been 45 years.
You see the great running back from the Cleveland Browns, Jim Brown, sitting down here. Marvin and I had a chance to say hi to him before the game. A Syracuse alum, you guys.
Hall of Famer sitting courtside. Shot clock is down to 3. Here's Williams. And the ball back to Orlando. There is Jim Brown. 6.5 remaining in this third quarter. Lewis, yes.
Don't look now, it's a 7-point game. So all that great energy from Cleveland to get this game started. They had Orlando on their heels. It's a different Orlando Magic team. I think you're seeing some of that toughness that I talked about. I think everybody thinks of this three-point shooting team. This team really is at their best when they got a chip on their shoulder and the odds are against them.
A defensive 3-second violation. Meanwhile, Orlando has outscored Cleveland 15-7 here at the start of the third.
I like this, though, getting Rashard Lewis on the move. You heard Charles Barkley talk at halftime about when you play a big guy like a Bergeau on Rashard Lewis, if he keeps him on the move and doesn't stand, he can drive that ball past him, catch and shoot like he did, then get it out to the three-point line. So this guy is so important. When he scores, they're a tough team to beat.
Williams and West in the backcourt. Ilgauskas, James, Bergeau up front. Ilgauskas open. And Turkoglu is on it. Hounded by Bergeau. Alston around James. Rejected from behind. Saved by Howard. Still lots of time on the clock. The alley-oop thrown by Turkoglu. What a beautiful pass, and Howard able to put it down on the reverse.
A little nervous time here at the Q. Not used to close games here. Cleveland has been so dominant at home both in the regular season and in the playoffs.
The lead is down to 6. Shot clock to 5. James, yes. Has he missed the jump shot after that 0 for 4 start?
He's been magnificent.
Howard putting the move on Ilgauskas. Looks like Bergeau got it from behind.
That's what they want to do. Swarm down, turn him into a pack, and then try to bother his shot from behind. We've seen LeBron do it a couple times. That time it was Bergeau. Oh, what a pass. Wow.
And that'll count. It's a goaltend. Bergeau gets credit for the bucket, the assist for LeBron.
You know what happens when you are out there playing against Cleveland? You get caught ball watching. You're watching LeBron, and all of a sudden, Bergeau's cutting in behind you. That's got to be at least 4 layups that he's got tonight, just cutting to the basket in the open area.
10-point for Bergeau, 75-65, Cleveland. Here's Turkoglu. Pass intended for Bergeau. On the turnover, back comes Alston. Lee off the wing. Nicely done.
We have not seen a lot of fast breaks tonight from Orlando. One of the reasons why is Cleveland has done such a great job of taking care of the ball. They only had 1 turnover, 14 assists in that first half. They were so efficient. All of a sudden, 3 turnovers here in this period that's allowed Orlando to get out and run and get some easy hoops.
4 minutes, 7 seconds to play, third quarter. We're in Cleveland, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, featuring the new Bruce Springsteen exhibit.
Well, when you play against great leapers, you'd like to keep your body on them so you don't give them the freedom to run, and it's just so hard for Zydrunas Ilgauskas to do that because of the quickness of Dwight Howard. He just rolls right off of him with great hands that time. Though it looked like that ball almost ticked the rim before he caught it and then was able to get that ball into the basket. But the Orlando starting backcourt started out the first half 1 of 7, only 3 points, 4 of 6 here for 9 points to start this third quarter. Much more aggressive, and they feel like it looks like they're in a better flow offensively than they were in the first half.
26 points. Stan Van Gundy's team showed its toughness in Game 7 in Boston the other night. Down here this evening by as many as 16, and they have made their way back into this game.
You know, I don't know if you ever equate teams that shoot a lot of threes as being tough, but this team has a lot of mental toughness. They really do.
Just under 4 left in the third. The pass intended for Varejao, deflected out. Last touched by Lewis. Cavaliers have 10 on the shot clock. Joe Smith will check back in.
Number 32, Joe Smith.
Played 7 minutes in the first half. Hit both his shot attempts. Zydrunas Ilgauskas to the bench with 8 points, 10 rebounds. West tried to get it down low, and it's broken up. Lee putting moves on Williams and lost it. They trapped him successfully. Smith rebounded by Lewis. Alston and Lee in the backcourt. Petrus is back. He is up front with Howard and Lewis. Shot clock to 5. Alston had it slapped away. Last touch by Cleveland. And now Wally Serbiak will return.
Back on the floor for your Cavaliers. Replacing both.
4 on the shot clock.
Serbiak.
And Serbiak comes on for Williams. Sits down with 12 points, 5 assists.
You can see one of the things that Mike Brown tries to do. He always tries to have 3 shooters and a big guy out there to play with LeBron. So he's always got targets if you're going to double team. And here's Rashard Lewis with a long 3. So he's starting to come to life. Now he has 10, Turkoglu 6. They've combined now for 16.
4 of 11 from beyond that 3-point line. This a team that had great success with the 3-point shot during the regular season. Second in the NBA. Here's James. That was a 3-point attempt. Able to follow his shot, tracked it down, and they have the new clock. James wasting no time. Good box out by Howard. Here comes Alston. Petrus for 3. Yes.
That's a concern right there. That is what Mike Brown has talked about for about 8 days. Transition defense. Orlando doesn't run for layups. They run to the 3-point line. All of a sudden, we got a 2-point game here.
And they are a team because of their success from 3-point land. They score in spurts. They have one going right now. 8 consecutive points to move within 2. Shot clock down to 2. James, yes.
And I think if you're Stan Van Gundy, you said, look, we'll live with LeBron James taking long 2s. He had just missed 2 in a row. You can make him be a jump shooter and keep him out of the paint. Orlando's done their job.
Petrus again. That's a 2 for Petrus. Cavaliers up 77-75, and things have really heated up here in the third quarter. LeBron has hit 4 of 5 from the field. In the third, he has 34 points in all, now being played by Lee. James with a long 3. 37 for James. Alston, a strong move. And the foul.
Well, I like what Rayford Alston's doing. I thought he was very tentative in the first half. LeBron James was guarding him. He did not go at him on the dribble at all. You've seen him now 2 or 3 times here in this period. Go to the basket. LeBron stepping back, knocking down another long jump shot. 37 points, and then Rayford Alston just jumps right into the chest of Anderson Varejao. He'll be shooting free throws when we come back.
We got it back to 10. Now let's fight it to 6 right now. Hey, get a stop right now. We had it to 6. It's back to 8. Let's get it down to 4 now. That's all. Just keep fighting. Come on, we're right there. Let's go. We're going to win this game.
And you got to love the passion of Stan Van Gundy. This guy's really a good coach. You know, Marv, you think about when he took over in Miami, I think they lost their first 7 games when he got there. He took over Pat Riley, turned the reins over him after a long-time assistantship. He did such a good job there. Got to the conference finals where they lost to the Detroit Pistons. Has come in here to Orlando and instilled a real passion with this team. And, you know, we start looking at the numbers, 9 fast break points for the Orlando Magic in this quarter. Marv, they had 6 in the first half, so they're getting the running game going. They only had 2 threes in the first half. They've hit 3 in this third period. They have 44 points in the paint, so all of a sudden the inside-outside game, the fast break, and we look up, that's why they're only down 2 points now.
Rayford Alston able to complete the 3-point play. He now has 11 points for the game. 8 have come here in the third quarter. James is fouled by Howard. That's number 4 on Dwight Howard.
I think Dwight Howard would have been okay on that play had he not brought his arm down. I think they would have given him a little bit of contact with the body. But watch here at the last minute with his arm. Right there. When you bring that arm down, that's going to draw attention to you. They would have given him this little bump right here. But once he brought that arm down, that's going to be a foul.
James 2 of 3 at the line. He has 37 points. He had 26 of the 37 in the first half, which is a Cavaliers franchise playoff record. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA playoffs continues tomorrow on ESPN. Game 2 of the Nuggets and the Lakers. Lakers coming from behind to pull it out last night at home. Coverage starts 8 o'clock Eastern time. Friday right here on TNT. Game 2 of the Magic and the Cavs starting 8 o'clock Eastern time. And then Saturday on ABC Game 3 between the Lakers and the Nuggets. So LeBron James missing on both free throws. And Orlando with a chance to tie or take the lead. They've trailed by 16. Lee comes up short. Here's James on the run. James is fouled.
When you play against LeBron James, Marv, you cannot backpedal. What you have to do is almost turn around and sprint and get to the restricted area. Because watch what happens. You start backpedaling, you can't do that. You're in trouble now when you backpedal because he's too fast and too strong. You got to turn and then try to get to that restricted area right in front of it and try to have him run over the top of it. That time, Petrus was just a little slow getting there.
Now Stan Van Gundy going with Marcin Gortat and Tony Battie as Dwight Howard sat down after that 4th foul. Anderson Varejao heads to the bench. Ben Wallace is back.
And Daniel Gibson in the game for the first time. This is a guy who's really struggled shooting the ball, but he's very capable of getting hot.
Remember a couple of years back as a rookie, he had a couple of sensational games against the Pistons.
Now that Game 6 you and I and Steve Kerr did in here, he was fabulous. He was the guy who closed the deal.
And an offensive foul on Petrus.
That's one of the reasons why LeBron James was in a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Gets in great position here. Tell you what, Mark, when you look at the Defensive Team of the Year, you know, the guys who made all defense, they're also some of the best offensive players in the league. And I think the guy who set the standard for that was Michael Jordan. Michael was not only the best offensive player in the game, he was the best defensive player in the game. And when you see these great stars playing both ends of the floor, it so separates them from the pack.
And in the past, that award would usually be won by a lockdown defender. There are very few of those.
These guys are more spectacular defenders. Shot blockers, guys that go for steals.
Shot clock to 3. James has to fire it up and comes up short. And it's a 24-second violation.
Orlando ball.
Orlando has to feel very good about how they've worked themselves back into this game. If they don't score, it's only a 2-possession game. And I think the concerns, if you're Cleveland, is really right now the only guy who has it going is LeBron James, Marvin. If they just force him to try to win this game by themselves, they could be trouble in the fourth quarter.
Just 2.4 to go. And now apparently they just changed the clock. And 4.3 remaining. There's Alston racing it down, gets it to Lou, fires. And that's the end of the third quarter. The Magic outscoring the Cavaliers 30-19 in the third. As they cut into that 16-point lead. The Cavaliers by 4 as we head to the fourth. When we come back, Craig will talk with Cleveland head coach Mike Brown. Craig Sager caught up with Cleveland head coach Mike Brown.
Well, Coach, after a terrific defensive first half, Orlando put up 30 points in that third quarter. Where were the defensive breakdowns?
You know, they did a nice job with the pick and pop game. Rashard hit a couple of jump shots. We thought PH was hit some tough shots in that quarter too. And we have to make sure that we keep trying to contest, even if we're contesting late to their jump shooters.
LeBron James with 39 points has maintained the lead. But he's not getting a lot of help offensively. Who needs to step up?
You know what? Mo had some great looks. He got knocked those looks down. Z had a couple of jump shots that were pretty good. We just have to keep playing basketball, keep trying to get the ball moving. We came to a little bit of a standstill that quarter, and hopefully we'll get the ball going from one side of the floor to the other this quarter.
All right, thanks, Len. Back to Marvin Doug.
All right, Craig, and the Cavaliers got the ball moving on that first possession of the fourth quarter. Mo Williams was able to drill it. LeBron James getting a rest back on the bench. Rashard Lewis again, so he has picked it up, and the Cavs have an 84-80 lead on the Magic.
Well, that's the pick and pop game that Mike Brown was just talking to with Craig Sager. They're getting Rashard Lewis on the move, setting that screen and rolling out.
Williams this time too strong. Good play by Johnson as he's able to deflect it. Oh, look out. Mo Williams and Anthony Johnson being kept apart by Ron Garretson.
The concern right now for Mike Brown is who's going to help him off the bench. Mark, you see games 1 and 2 against the Hawks. So look at games 3 and 4 on the road. Tonight only 5 points. They've been outscored 21-5 off that bench. And now with LeBron on the bench here with a little rest, who's going to step up for the Cavs? There's that Rashard Lewis once again, that pick and pop. The old adage in basketball is keep running the same play over again until they stop you. And right now they don't have any answers for Rashard Lewis on that same play.
He's 6 of 10. He has 14 points. The Magic within 2. Gibson and Williams now in the backcourt. There's Williams making the turn. Gibson lost the handle, recovers. Did not hit the rim, so it's a 24-second violation. The ball back to Orlando.
Yeah, Mike Brown says, I'm getting my star back in the game, LeBron James. He's not going to sit over there very long, and with that violation, LeBron is not going to be able to come in with a substitution. So Orlando has a chance here if they knock down a 3 to take the lead.
Dwight Howard sitting it out after picking up that 4th foul. Gortat back in at the center position. Johnson for 3, yes! The Orlando Magic, coming from 16 down, have the lead for the first time tonight, and the Cavaliers call for time.
The resiliency of the Orlando Magic. Stan Van Gundy said, our trademark is when our back is to the wall, we are at our best. 7-0 run here by Orlando. That 3-point shooting starting to go, and it's quiet here in the arena.
Come on, we're right there now. Don't let up. They have not been here this year. Everything's been easy for them. They don't know about this. We do. All right, let's get it out right here.
Well, this one Stan was talking about. This guy is doing his best to motivate his team through this, but this is how dominant they have been. 8-0. Look at the scoring margin. The opponent's points only 78. The most they've given up all year in the playoffs is 85, which is what Orlando's sitting on right now. They've dominated the boards. Every game they've won has been by 10 or more points. Well, now they're into a fight, and this is what the playoffs are all about. And my big concerns right now for Cleveland is who's going to make some shots beside LeBron. Joe Smith's made a couple. Wally Zerbiak has not made a shot tonight. And Mo Williams and Delonte West are combined 8 for 25. And so if they can keep LeBron taking tough two-point shots, they've got a great chance to win this game.
That's a great statement. They don't know about this.
Right.
We do. And 85 points equals the most that the Cavaliers have allowed the first two series of the playoffs. Smith for three. Oh, the hustle play kept it alive, and James scores. Zerbiak hitting the floor and was able to get it to James. So the Cavaliers back up by one.
And all this being done right now with Dwight Howard on the bench with fouls, so the Magic have played very well with the caught into the game.
That pass intended for Gortat, and the outside official Bennett Salvatore says it was deflected out of bounds.
It's a great call right here. LeBron gets that ball. You see that ball is deflected. Here comes Dwight Howard back into the game. So Todd did his job in there, came in, gave him some good minutes, and Howard now back in for the finish with his 4 fouls.
Shot clock at 7. Turkoglu. And Petrus able to get to it.
Extra shots, extra possessions. And then anytime you shoot long jumpers, there's going to be long rebounds.
Johnson trying with 3, rebounded by Zerbiak. Orlando only 8 of 22 shooting in the first quarter. Since then, they've shot 65%. And now trailing by 1. Petrus is back on. James. Shot clock to 3. James for 3.
That's a tough possession. When that ball starts sticking, that's what Mike Brown talked about. They're not moving the basketball right now. There's that lob once again. You've got to keep your body on Dwight Howard. I know it's easier said than done, but you cannot let him roll off you, Mark. You have to make him step to the ball and catch it and make a shot.
Howard that time able to beat Smith, who turned his head. Howard 13 of 19. He has 28 points. The Magic up by 1. Here's West, just didn't get it off on time. Rebounded by Howard. He has to be very careful. That time it's on Zerbiak. But Howard playing with the 4 fouls.
Great eye contact. This is twice now Turkoglu's made that little pass. You've got to have more pressure on the passer, and you've got to have him step to the ball, even if it means you have to give up and play behind him a little bit. But this is twice now we've seen this tonight with that brilliant pass in the finish.
Anderson Varejao, Zydrunas Ilgauskas back on the floor for the Cavaliers. 8 minutes to play in the 4th. There's Howard putting a move on Ilgauskas and banks it home.
A quick first step again. You know, Ilgauskas does not get his body on him, Mark. You talked about how Kendrick Perkins had his body and made him play against his force. Howard's got the freedom to roam against Z.
An 11-2 run for the Magic. Ilgauskas, yes.
And he can do that. And what will happen is with Howard playing him now, he can drag, he can drag him away from the basket.
Whistle over at the far side by Ron Garrettson, indicating a foul on Mo Williams.
Second team foul.
So the Cavs with their second team foul. 1 point, Orlando lead. And the foul again on Williams.
That time he just thought he was going to run right through the pick of Dwight Howard, hoping he would get a moving screen, which could have been the 5th foul on Dwight Howard. Howard does not move on the play. A little bit he steps out there, but very fortunate here he did not get called for his 5th foul. That would have been his 3rd offensive foul of the game.
Shot clock to 5. Turkoglu. Williams on it. Here comes James. And now looks to pull it back. West for 3. Rebounded by Turkoglu.
So he's just not making shots now. 8 of 27 now for West and Mo Williams. These are guys that all season long have been able to make shots playing off of LeBron James. When you were going to double him and get the ball out of his hands, those guys made you pay. Tonight, not the case. Again, 8 of 27 for those two guys.
We've been talking about the superb home record of the Cavaliers. Orlando, one of the best road teams in the NBA, 27-14 during the season. They've won 3 on the road in the postseason. That's a 3 attempted by Petrus, rebounded by James.
You see the confidence that Stan Van Gundy has in Anthony Johnson, going with him now down the stretch instead of Rafer Alston.
Johnson now defending on James. James talking to him. See face guarding by Johnson. But once again, the ball stopped, but James got the step, then lost it. Here comes Johnson. Kicks it out. Petrus. And he's fouled by Williams. That's number 4 on Mo Williams.
Fouls on number 2, Mo Williams.
This is what Orlando did in the regular season, Mark. They shut the lane down. And after the great start that Cleveland had scoring in the paint, they're now being outscored by 14 in the paint. See what happened when LeBron James comes in there. There's Dwight Howard closing it down. The ball knocked out of his hands, and then this is when they want to get out and run. Actually, Anthony Johnson sort of poked that ball away in from behind. And the fast break game, 6 points in the first half fast break, sitting on 16 now. So this could be their 11th and 12th fast break points in the second half, which has sort of changed the game.
Petrus to the line for the first time. Cal Petrus spent 5 years with Golden State, first-round pick of the Warriors, signed as a free agent by Orlando. He's been set back by injuries, been out earlier this season with a fractured wrist. He has really come on in the postseason. Had that huge Game 7 against the Celtics Sunday night. 90-88, the Magic on top, 6 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Rashard gets inside. See Howard stepped away.
See, Rashard can catch that ball in traffic. LeBron has a lot of confidence in him. If he throws that ball, he'll go down and get it.
Game tied at 90. Ball was deflected out by Williams. A timeout call. The Cavaliers and the Magic. All even. Orlando coming from 16 back. All right, here's the upcoming schedule presented by Degree for Men. Well, game 2 here in Cleveland on Friday night. We'll have it for you on TNT, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Sunday, the scene shifts to Orlando. Games 3 and 4 move on to Central Florida, Sunday and Tuesday nights. And then, if necessary, games 5, 6, and 7. All exclusively here on TNT.
Well, now this season gets really compressed after all the time off for the Cavaliers. 9 days between the first and second round, 8 here now, but starting this series every other day with travel now. So now all of a sudden you're going to start to see the concerns now for Cleveland is they're not getting any help off their bench, Marv. The Orlando Magic has gone to their bench tonight. They're 10 of 16 for 25 points. Cleveland 2 of 7 for 5, so plus 20 off the bench. And the one thing, if you look at Cleveland this year, you look at, and this is total points. So Kobe and LeBron didn't even play in 14 of the fourth quarters. But Hedo Turkoglu and Dwight Howard, you see where they are 25th and 51st. So who's going to close the deal here for Orlando?
Dwight Howard called for the travel, the ball back to the Cavaliers. You mentioned Kobe and LeBron not playing in a number of fourth quarters because their teams were involved in blowouts.
Cleveland won 41 games this year by 10 or more points.
Here's Ilgauskas with room. Rebounded by Alston. LeBron James leading the way for the Cavs with 41. 30 points for Dwight Howard. Here's Turkoglu with a long 3.
That's what he'll do. We saw it in the Philadelphia game when he knocked down that game winner. Big shots he made. He had 10 fourth-quarter points the other day in Boston in that game 7 to go, along with his big 12 big assists.
He has been Mr. Fourth Quarter. Just under 5 remaining in the fourth. 3-point Orlando lead. Ilgauskas knocked away from Alston, and another possession for the Cavaliers.
Well, the Cleveland offense has come to a standstill. They're not moving the ball, holding it too much. And that clock is starting to work against them.
Williams for 3, way off.
All of a sudden now you start feeling the pressure go to the Cavaliers here at home. Orlando trying to break through in game 1 to get the home court.
Turkoglu try to lead it to Howard. A weak pass picked off. Here's James. He went 1-on-3, and he was fouled up top by Alston.
Well, Turkoglu was going to try to throw another lob to Dwight Howard. He's had 2 of those already. We saw going to break. That time he said the ball slipped out of his hands. LeBron just went up and snatched it out of the air.
Down to 4 minutes remaining in the fourth.
What they like to go to, this a little middle pick and roll, 3-1 screen roll to try to get a switch to get Alston to play him.
And here's James, got the step.
That's their money play. What happens is they put Zydrunas Ilgauskas out behind the 3-point line to try to drag the big man away to open up the lane. That's the money play that Cleveland likes to go to.
LeBron now with 43 out of 47-point performance against Atlanta. Turkoglu. Nice move by Turkoglu. 11 points for Hito and the Magic with a 95-92 lead. And Van Gundy staying with Petrus on James. Shot clock down to 5. James to the left hand.
That's just a brilliant shot. The shot clock winding down once again. LeBron is spending a lot of energy. While he's got that ball in his hands, about 20 seconds on each possession.
Alston for 3. Varejao on the rebound.
Well, you could feel the fans holding their breath on that 3 from Alston. That would have put them up 4.
22nd timeout being called by Mike Brown. And now they change to a full with Orlando up by 1.
Well, sometimes you take a timeout, not so much for strategy, but to give your guy a rest. I think LeBron James is a little tired here to get this timeout.
Time for the Marines teamwork play of the game.
Well, this is Mike Brown's concern, the prolific 3-point shooting of the Orlando Magic. 5 for 10 in the second half from 5 different guys here, all hitting different angles. Petrus, we've seen Alston, we've seen Rashard Lewis. This time it's Anthony Johnson, and then Turkoglu at the top. LeBron goes under that screen. Like I said, a little fatigue there. Went to that last timeout, and what a difference a series makes. Cleveland has been so good defensively through the first 2 rounds. Look tonight what they've given up. Field goal percentage from the Magic, who got off to an 8 for 22 start in the first quarter. Look at the rebounding. How about points in the paint? This game just changed dramatically, Marv, starting the 3rd period. And this is what I was talking about during the timeout. It's like, give me a 20-second timeout. LeBron is tired. He is working so hard on every possession. Mike Brown goes over and taps him. Get a little rest. So sometimes it's not strategy with your timeouts. It's to give your star a rest for the finish, and now they're only down to 1 timeout.
Orlando 2 full and a 20. The Magic taking their first lead 2 minutes into the 4th quarter after trailing by as many as 16 and trailing by double digits most of the game.
You know, Marv, another thing, too, when you take 8 full days off, you cannot simulate in practice the conditioning. And LeBron looked like he was getting his legs rubbed down there by the athletic trainer, Max Benton, so you got to make sure he doesn't start cramping up.
Cavaliers in possession. They are down by 1. There's James. Rebounded by Turkoglu. Petrus forcing James further out to his right. There's Turkoglu. Lewis for 3. The Orlando Magic, second in the NBA in total three-pointers made and attempted during the regular season, setting franchise records in both categories. And earlier in the year, in a win at Sacramento, set a new NBA record as they hit 23 in a game. Williams, right back from downtown.
Boy, he had been struggling. 5 of 17 before he took that shot. That was a gigantic shot by Mo Williams.
Orlando by 1, and a foul as they try to trap Turkoglu. Foul on Ilgauskas.
Mo Williams just sort of fades that three-point line, and Rashard Lewis got to close out on him, make him put that ball on the floor. Mo Williams is not going to run away from his shot. I mean, he's very confident that he can knock him down, and now Orlando's going to be shooting free throws the rest of the period.
Cleveland over the limit with that foul. And Turkoglu out 3 of 3 at the line. TBS Wednesdays, Brown is back. Get the family together for the new season premiere of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns right after brand new episodes of House of Pain. That's May 27th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on TBS.
Turkoglu, 81% free throw shooter during the regular season. All the Magic guys are really pretty good free throw shooters except Dwight Howard, so it's going to be interesting to see how much he touches the ball here in the last couple minutes, Mark.
Howard only 59% during the regular season, right around that mark during the playoffs. Petras knocked it away, but James recovers. Here's LeBron taking to the rim, and a foul. So James to the line. He's 4 of 7 at the line. He has 45 points, his all-time playoff high, 48 in that sensational game against Detroit back in 2007.
Now watch Mo Williams here. You see off the ball, he and Courtney Lee getting tied up. No call on that play. Courtney Lee saying he's grabbing me. Mo Williams is trying to plead his case with Ron Gerritsen. That's 3 free throws now LeBron has missed in this quarter. And again, I don't want to beat this to death at all, but you know, they have not played that many minutes in the last 8-9 days. I mean, to try to simulate that in practice, you can't do that. The speed of the game in this second half, they've ground down. As they've gotten tired, the ball has stopped moving.
It's a 2-point Orlando lead. A minute and a half to go in the fourth. Here's Lee, Turkoglu, shot clock to 6. Turkoglu draws the foul. It is on Varejao, who is very upset. And the question is, was it 3-point territory or was his foot on the line?
Well, they'll take a look at it here. They'll take a look and make sure to see. But this is a great pump fake by Turkoglu. Let's see if he jumps in. Like he sort of leans into Varejao, but that's what you got to do, Marv. I mean, you get a guy up in the air, you got to try to sell that. And Varejao does not like the call. Bennett Salvatore is going to take a look here to see if it's a 2 or a 3.
The ruling on the floor is a 2-point attempt for the Magic. It is now being reviewed to determine whether.
Let's see a look from above. It's tough to tell.
Well, he steps in with that right foot, so that's going to be a 2. Marv, he stepped in, and before he released the shot, his right foot was well inside that 3-point line. So as he stepped in, that's when he got the contact.
What a game for Hedo Turkoglu. Playoff career high 13 assists. He had 12 the other night against Boston. Now this a closer look.
Yeah, but watch it though now. See, that ball is still in his hand. See, that right foot is well inside the line there, so that's going to be a 2-shot foul.
The ruling on the floor stands. It is a 2-point attempt.
And that's what the call is. Did not release the ball until he stepped
exactly.
over.
Now, Marv, now these free throws become important because obviously you make 2, you make it a 2-possession game. And what we've seen from Cleveland here over the last few minutes, basically the second half, is get the ball in LeBron's hands and let him go to work.
Turkoglu 81% during the regular season. And he's 5 for 5 tonight. 101-98 Orlando. Trying to steal home court advantage from the Cavaliers, although the Cavaliers, similar to the Magic, very successful on the road. As you'd imagine, when you won 66 games, they won 66 and 16 during the regular season. 4-point Magic lead. Ilgauskas finding Varejao. 2-point game as we come up on a minute to play.
Well, now can this vaunted Cleveland defense come up with a defensive stop without fouling?
Petrus very calmly fires up a three as Delonte West went flying by. Cavaliers can tie or take the lead. Down to 45 seconds to go in the fourth. West for three. In the lead. Delonte West. Off the beautiful look from LeBron James to give the Cavaliers a 1-point lead.
You know, Marv, when you evaluate players, one of the skills that you evaluate is toughness. Toughness under pressure. Mo Williams had not shot it well. He knocked down a three. Delonte West is struggling. He knocks down a three. Mental toughness under pressure.
Knocking down his third three of the night to get that lead. He had hit two others, but that was back in the first quarter.
You know what reminded me of the Laker game last night against Denver? You know, Kobe's got the ball, and he kicks it out to Ariza, who knocks down a three. And then it's Fisher. Tonight, it's LeBron with the basketball. He has 46 points, and it's Mo Williams and Delonte West. Those guys are a combined 10 of 30, but both hit big three-point shots when it looked like the game was slipping away. Can they get a stop? The Magic is going to put the ball in Turkoglu's hands, and I'm sure that LeBron James will be guarding him.
Both teams over the foul limit, and Hedo Turkoglu with 9 of his 15 points in this fourth quarter.
Now they like to run a play where Dwight Howard steps out and catches the ball, and Turkoglu gets a handoff coming back into the middle of the floor. That's a play they use to run a lot.
Alston watched by Williams. Here's Lewis. Yes! A clutch shot by Rashard Lewis. And the Magic back up by 1. As James to the bucket, draws the foul. The basket counts and the foul. Cleveland has recaptured the lead. And that on Dwight Howard is number 6.
Now, Marv, remember one of my keys I talked about, the imprint. Who was going to put their imprint on the game? Was it going to be the MVP of the league or the defensive player of the year? How about this? LeBron James takes the ball right at Dwight Howard, gets the contact, and has the strength and wherewithal to finish this off and try to make this a three-point play. But remember now, the way that Orlando shoots that three ball, Cleveland has got to make sure they defend that three-point line.
James 5 of 9 at the line. It is a three-point play, and it is a new career playoff high for LeBron James with 49 points.
And you see LeBron, he's going one stop. We need one stop.
So 25 and 6/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. The Magic taking a timeout, so they have 1 left. Cavaliers with 1 timeout remaining.
This is where, as a defensive team, you have to have great discipline. And on any kind of drive, you can't leave a shooter in the corner for that easy kick-out pass. You can help with the basket, but you cannot lose your discipline. A 2 ties you, a 3 can beat you. So you do not want to leave a three-point shooter.
Let's take a look back at some of the keys you set up at the start of the telecast.
Well, the Cavs got off to the great start after the 8 full days rest, the transition game, the Magic. It's been all in the second half, and they've come to life at that three-point line. They've hit 5 or 6 in the second half. The defense never rests. The Magic 104 points tonight, 55% field goal shooting, and the imprint. Cleveland 1 stop away from taking a 1-0 lead, and Orlando 1 three-pointer away from maybe stealing the home court.
There's a 1.5 second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Cavaliers up by 2. Lewis pops it out to Turkoglu. Lewis for 3. Yes! Orlando has taken a 1-point lead, and we are seeing clutch shot after clutch shot down the stretch.
You see, the interesting thing there is Mike Brown went with 2 big guys. Instead of going maybe with a smaller lineup where you could match, he went with 2 big guys, and Rashard all on the move on that play. Can't quite close out on Rashard Lewis after a slow start. Rashard Lewis now with 22 points. Will that be enough?
Cleveland just used its final timeout. 14 7/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. And the Magic in front 107-106.
Now the thing with Cleveland having no timeouts, Mark, if they run this clock down and take a shot and don't score, you got to foul. But then you can't move the ball. So chances are they're going to have to maybe go sooner than they would like to go, simply because they've got to give themselves a chance, if they miss, to foul and get the ball back and have to go full court, length of the court. So let's see what they do here in this possession.
Wally Serbiak has checked back in. Mo Williams will put it in play.
Remember now, no Dwight Howard to guard the rim in case LeBron James goes to that basket.
And James puts a move on Petrus, who went down. They swing it. Here's West. Not able to hit. He hit from that spot a moment ago. Down to 1 second. And a jump ball is called with 1 second remaining.
Mark, it almost looked like that ball went up and hit the back of the backboard. And if so, that stanchion, that would have been out of bounds. Let's take a look here and see. When that ball is deflected, you see Cortado was going to run at LeBron, get that ball out of his hands. But watch here on this rebound. Does that ball go underneath the basket? Oh, I guess it didn't. I thought it might have hit underneath. So 1 second here for a catch and shoot.
This is nearly impossible off a jump ball.
You know he's going to tip it back to Mo Williams, and Mo Williams is going to be the guy that gets the shot.
Turkoglu and James. Bennett Salvatore with the toss. Here it is. Williams in one motion got it off and went back rim. The Orlando Magic have defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 107-106.
That was a great opportunity for her. That shot almost went, and very close to almost being a foul on that play. Watch this now. Great play here by LeBron, all in one motion. Very close to going in. I tell you, this Orlando Magic team, this second half, boy, did they show their mental toughness. There's a shot that he misses, and we see LeBron James out here. I think he's cramping up. I think you look at him, it looks like his right leg has a cramp, and we saw that happening about the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game when Mike Brown had to take that timeout that they could have desperately used at the end of the game, but they had to give LeBron some rest.
LeBron James goes 41 minutes, 20 of 30 from the field, a playoff career high of 49 points. Cleveland led by as many as 16, but the Magic kept coming. The game winner by Rashard Lewis, who finished with 22 points, 12 coming in the fourth. He hit his last 7 shots. Dwight Howard, who fouled out, had 30 points, 14 of 20 from the field, and 13 rebounds.
You see the cramping there in his right leg as athletic trainer Max Benton is out looking at him. But more we talking about Turkoglu and Lewis in the second half. They were going to have to come to life, as well as Ray Alston. Look at Turkoglu. I think he and Lewis had combined for 11 points in the first half. They had ended up with 37. So by my math, they had 26 points in the second half. And when you look at Cleveland after that great first half of 63 points, 43 in the second half, so they really came to a screeching halt in that second half when they started holding the basketball.
And the Cavaliers lose for the first time in the postseason after sweeping Detroit and Atlanta, while the Magic take a 1-0 lead in this Eastern Conference final, and they do it here at the Q in Cleveland. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, thank you, Marv. With me, Dwight Howard with his 30 points, Rashard Lewis with his 22 and the game-winning 3. You guys were down by 16. Your coach didn't give up. You guys didn't give up. How much did you learn from your Game 7 victory in Boston, and how tough is this team mentally?
Yeah, you got to play 48 minutes. You can't come out here and let them hit us first. We got to set the tone early. We got to hit them first. But the most important thing is you got to play 48 minutes. We felt like we only played one half, and that was the second half only.
You carried this team throughout the game until the game-winning three-pointer. Start out with that dunk that brought down the shot clock. What did it mean to you? I know you played with LeBron during the Olympics. He scored 49, but you guys still came away with a win. How big a victory is this for you?
It's a big victory. We kept fighting the whole game, and that's what we have to do. You know, we fought our way back. I just told my guys we got to keep fighting. The game not over. And we believed from the beginning that we was going to win, and we kept fighting.
Congratulations, terrific win. Nice three-pointer. Rashard Lewis, the game winner. They win by 1. Let's go back over to Marv.
All right, Craig, and the combination of Hedo Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis scored the last 17 points for the Magic. Orlando with a